Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good time of day, whatever it is for you. Good night. Welcome back to the LAMDA log. Got a couple of videos to catch up on, and then we're ready to go. So yeah, starting off with week 3, day 4. So we had a company meeting first. We just had some basic information. So if you hear a fire drill, assume there's a fire. Register will start to be taken at the fire drills. The Lila Husit, for a fire drill, you want to go to the overpass. This means nothing to you, but I'm saying it anyway. Wednesday, the 3rd of June, there's a master class with the esteemed, brilliant actor-director Sam West. Next company meeting, we will have a tech meeting about the tech for thesis. Excuse me. The tech for thesis about what's available to us and what we can do, which is great because I need to look into that. The 24th of August through the 2nd of September will be our Shakespeare dates. Monday the 1st is a bank holiday, and 2 evening performances. You'll have 2 evening performances of Shakespeare and 1 matinee. Final dress into first evening of the first play. So you have a final dress in the morning, and then your first evening will be your first one. And then probably be in the round for Shakespeare. So we'll be performing in the round. Wardrobe for the restoration pieces will be scheduled and hopefully will be figured out for next week. And the next audition is Wednesday. Tomorrow will be the something. I didn't finish that. Get on top of your theses, work with your advisors, prep your tech, prep your space, and it'll be performed in John Wood. And then we went into our restoration rehearsal. And so at the very beginning, we worked 1.1 in a breakout room for remembrance, just working the lines. So this was kind of just individually with the actors in that scene. And then I had individual time, and I worked with one of my scene partners for my French scene. And then we want to make it modern to like really lean into like germ theory and stuff with the hypochondriac, so that he's going to be using hand sanitizer all the time, taking pills and doing all these things, just to help me ground the character a little more instead of just being I'm sick, blah, 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 blah. I'm trying to steer away from blah, 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 but that's where I keep going. It'll be good. We'll figure it out. Then we had lunch, and then we went back with Vicky and we discussed the schedule for the day. I'm not called for the rest of I wasn't called for the rest of the day, so I did have a moment, an interesting theological and moral question, where I asked Vicky if I could replace the word bega, which is written in the script Begar, but pronounced with like a British French accent. So like a Brit doing a French accent. It sounds like bega, and it's supposed to be by God, which is like I swear by God, which is taking the Lord's name in vain. And so I asked if I could replace it with Jésus, which just means I swear. And I always, whenever I'm changing things for content or for my personal beliefs and feelings, I always bring an offer, because if I'm going to be an inconvenience, I hope I might as well like solve the problem, or at least bring a possible solution to the problem. And I have not had any problems with it up to this point. But Vicky asked why first, and I said that it's the Lord's name in vain, and she's like, And I was like, oh, this is the first time I'm getting pushback on it. But she asked and said like, my feeling is to keep what's in the script, but like if this is a deal breaker, and I said it is for me. And she's like, okay, that's very limiting for you. And the way I took that is that in a career in theater and in film, um, lots of scripts are written with the Lord's name in vain. So I totally understand where she's coming from in that stance. I don't think she was saying it's limiting for her as a directing this piece or what, but I didn't get an exact answer on it. She just said that she'll think about it. So we'll see. But I can't imagine that she's gonna recast it or anything major will happen. But my stomach just kind of dropped a bit, and but I stood to my morals and I stood to what I felt was right. It was just the first time I kind of like got pushback, and I was like, ugh. And it's interesting, if it were a different like curse word or swear word or something, I would be more malleable, which is a good experience for me. But that is my hard line, and what I've always said is my hard line. So yeah, and then a couple students talked to me afterwards, and they said that they didn't feel like it would be limiting for me. But it's interesting. And then I had some more individual time, and I put all of my my bow stratagem and hypochondriac lines into this new app called Line Learner. Line Learner. Look at this. Let's see if it. See, you just record all the lines, and then you can just like play them, and then put gaps and stuff. Game changer. Way better than just the app. And that was Thursday. Really short, really straightforward. It was a good day. Yeah, and then and then I think I worked some more on the hypochondriac, and then my friend got me tickets, standing room tickets, to go see One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest with Aaron Pierre, who is LAMDA grad and the new Green Lantern. Shout out Sandwich. But they dropped £10 standing room tickets, and when we got there, it was at the Old Vic. We couldn't see almost half the stage, which is so funny. And then people were standing up in front of us on the seated part, because it's kind of like this horseshoe area, and we were over here. And then there's audience. It's in the round, sort of. It's mostly like two audiences here and here, and we were on this side. But during it, we saw like prime seating that was like down, and so I was like, let's go ask the usher if we can move. And they were so nice, and it took us like 3 different times to ask an usher, but we were able to move, and it was sick. So we got like 400-pound tickets for 10. I guess it was half of 400 pounds, so we saved like 200 pounds. The second half was wonderful. Really, really fascinating show. But yeah, so that was Thursday. I'll hit you again in a minute for Friday. Love